Welcome back, everybody. It's the Aces NBA show, and we have a big lineup. We have everyone in the studio. Our special guest, the Cockman, Rudy Gobert's favourite fan. We have Pistols Pete Pooley in the building. He's ready to break down plenty of things. And our man, Jeffrey Goebels, fresh off the cashies on the Gold Coast. Boys, it's good to see you all in the studio.
Bloody good to be here. I'm glad to have you. I didn't think we'd get you back, Jeff. I thought once you've got one good cashy underway, I know the weather was perfect up there for you. I was worried we were going to lose you to the cashies.
To be honest, I didn't think I was going to get an invite back after Cox's performance last week. I thought I was going to be coming off the bench, but it's great to be back. And when the cashies come around, you got to go and do them.
Well, we have to have Cocky back because what he said about Rudy Gobert / Rudy Go Neil just after today's performance, boys. Before we talk about the Lakers and Wolves, because I've told you just not to mention anything which has been hard. I just need to go to our man Pistols just to break the news on most improved player because it's our man.
It's bloody good news, isn't it? Dyson Daniels awarded the most improved player for this season for the NBA, and it is so well deserved. We spoke about it last week, the disappointment of not getting the Defensive Player of the Year. He took a leap forward in nearly every statistical category, and he's become an absolute superstar. And the funny thing is, I sit here now, he was the most improved winner. Yes, his offense improved, but he was mainly given that nod, and he ran away with it by the votes on how elite he became defensively. Just by looking at that means he was robbed of Defensive Player of the Year.
Robbed.
That's exactly what it means. He was robbed, but it was so well deserved. Just the start of it. He's going to sign a massive deal, and man, how bloody good.
That was so good. And we weren't even talking about Mobley. We were talking about Draymond Green the whole time, and then all of a sudden Mobley's nicked it out of his hands, which is just filthy because Wemby's going to have it, as you said, for the next 10 years.
I'm sticking to this. Now, the reason Dyson Daniels didn't win is because people pick out the stats. The team not good defensively when he's on. All the team stats were poor for the Atlanta Hawks. Newsflash, Atlanta Hawks are a poor basketball team compared to the Cleveland Cavaliers this year. It's not a team award. It shouldn't be weighted against him, and he got robbed in that regard.
Would you say the MVP is not a team award? Because, your team needs to perform well.
Yeah, but that does weight a little bit more on it. But it's literally called Defensive Player of the Year. It's not Defensive Team of the Year. So in that regard, he got robbed because Mobley was the best defender on the best defensive team, one of. It's bullshit. That's what it is.
It is bullshit, and it's bullshit that the Lakers and Wolves is all over in 5. Shannon Sharp said Lakers in 5. I don't think he predicted it this way. Cocky, you need to kick off the top here. Rudy Gobert has turned into Shaquille O'Neal and put up one of the all-time performances. What do you have, 27 and 23 or something? What do you have?
I mean,
the most overrated player in the league, you said last week.
I knew I'd have to face the music at some point, and it hurts me. Before the game, he was averaging 3.6 rebounds, at best on 31% field goal percentage. He was dog shit. But hats off, he was unreal. The Lakers had no answer for him. I mean, even a broken clock's right twice a day. So hats off to Rudy. He proved me wrong. I still think he's overrated, but hell of a performance. I'm not bitter at all.
I never doubted it. I spoke to Tommy beforehand, messaged Jeff. I said, I reckon Rudy's going to have a legacy game here. I knew it was coming. Strictly because he's a big fan of the show and he saw what you said.
You know what it was? I think he actually tuned into Oz American Aces about a week ago and he used it as motivation.
He certainly did. Well, he had 14 points across the first 4 games, right? He's come out today, and I actually sold him a bit short. He had 27 points and 24 rebounds and 2 blocks to go with it. And they get up by 7 against the Lakers. And the thing is, the Lakers played pretty well on D. They kept Ant to 0 from 11 from 3. So their defense was elite, but I guess JJ Redick leaving our man Jackson Hayes or another one of your boys on the pine for the whole game just to try something new. I reckon Rudy's, he's timed his legacy game perfectly.
It's strange, right? And I'll tell you what, there's no man happier in this world right now than Nico Harrison, the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, sitting back and watching, saying, hey, I told you all Luka couldn't play D. I told you that he wasn't going to contribute to winning this year, and they get taken away in the first round. And by the way, talk about Ant-Man. Just quietly, I love Ant-Man, but he's humbling our generational greats. Last year it was KD in the first round. Now it's LeBron with an early trip to Cancun. It's somewhat actually hurt. As much as I'd love to see Minnesota going through, I love Anthony Edwards. It hurts me to think that generational talent might just be on the way out. It's sad.
It is sad. It's and the way he was defending LeBron in Game 4, he was taking it up to him. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, he was taking it up to him. And it goes to show with the age thing, like I'm a big LeBron fan, as we all know, but you're 40 years old and you play basically the whole game and you're having to do defense and offense. It took its toll. And today he scored 1 basket in the fourth quarter. It was disappointing. I don't think it hurts his legacy. I've been seeing a couple of things floating around on X, or say Twitter.
Yeah,
and
these days. It should just be
I don't know
called
what it's
Twitter.
called these days, but I don't think this one's hurt his legacy. But it's disappointing to see
But it
the
does.
king out.
It will affect
Oh,
it.
come on, Pistol.
It will affect it.
Come on.
It will affect it. That man
Jeffrey,
got.
he was throwing up some sodas late. I mean,
I
there's
know
a
he's
lot of,
for-
there's
I
a
know
lot
he's
of bricks
40.
late. Like they just needed one of his threes to go down. I can't say he was the only one. We've got some serious stats. DiVincenzo 2 from 12. I think LeBron was 1 from 5. I think Austin Reeves was also 2 from
He
12,
had a
maybe,
shocker.
and then we had Ant-Man 0 from 11 from the deep 3. Oh, I couldn't believe how many missed threes we were seeing.
But we're not going to remember like LeBron falling apart in this game in particular. But when we start to package all together the career, and I know you're a big LeBron guy, but these kind of moments will count towards the whole GOAT debate. They have to. I know he's still playing at 40 and it's phenomenal and he is one of the greatest of all times. But in the end, he's going to be on a flight to Cancun because of Rudy Gobert.
No, he's going to be there because of Austin Powers / Reeves. The way Austin was shooting the ball tonight, he just needed to sink a couple of threes and give that crowd something.
He was poor.
He was the one they needed because he's always open. It's always the third or fourth guy. Rui played his role perfectly. Rui was smacking threes. He put down everything he could have.
They were never going to go deep in the playoffs though because they didn't have a center. Well, they have Jackson Hayes, but you can't say if you say anything about Jackson Hayes now, Cocky, he's going to be an All NBA player next year.
He is trying out a 10-day for the Shanghai Sharks. As soon as next season starts, he is Gonski. They're keeping 4 players, I think. Maybe Finney-Smith as well. They're keeping Reeves, Bron, Luka, and Rui. Everyone else can go. Obviously, JJ had no faith in Jackson Hayes after the shockers he's been putting together. He even decided to play someone that hasn't played in I don't know how long months in Maxi Kleber and still had more faith in him. So, yeah, Jackson's going to be peeling oranges next year. I reckon.
Yeah, I think Cleaver's highlight was his foot out of bounds. Got to keep your feet in bounds, big boy.
Does Reeves stay? Like Lakers need to do something. They need to get some trade value somewhere
Reeves
to add
would be
to the
fine.
roster.
So there's a couple of big free agents that could land on the Lakers, and we'll talk about the Bucks because you talk about an organization that has just put a fork in them. The Bucks and the Suns, they can fight out for the biggest fork situation that could possibly be in. Brook Lopez is favored to land with the Lakers. So I know he's 37, but they need an interior presence. He would definitely help them defense. They just got exposed. As we said, like Rudy Gobert, like we spoke, he was second in the most overrated player. He's an all-timer for Cock in that regard, but he shouldn't be having that dominant performance to send you home in such an important game. It just shouldn't happen.
We did say at the start of the series, bigs versus smalls, who was going to be more beneficial with, which one.
And credit,
Obviously,
Yeah.
obviously it was bigs.
credit the Wolves coaching staff. Normally they try and match it and go small, but they kept Rudy out there.
And Nas. I know Nas was disappointing on the offense, but he blocked a lot of shots and he's just so hard. I mean, when he's defending the perimeter, I think there's a couple of times where he had Luka, Reeves, they're trying to break his ankles. They got a couple away, but he's so hard to score on, big Nas.
Well, you know who would have helped the Lakers? Anthony Davis.
Oh, well, they wouldn't have had Luka. So do you think if Davis plays, they're better off?
Great
Oh,
question.
it's a very actually one of your best questions, to be honest. I
Backhander,
think,
boys. A bit early in the show for a backhander, old Pistols. Hey?
no, they still need some guard creation. Again, LeBron couldn't have done it on his own. So they were damned if they do, damned if they don't, to be honest, this season.
All right, we could sit here all day, but I'm flat. Obviously, that was my popcorn kind of series. I thought it would go to 7. It's all over in 5. Is there any other takeaways from that one before we move to the Pacers and Bucks?
No, not too much. As I said, they're going to have to land a couple of big free agents. The drafts, all stuff, the trades are probably not going to be there for them. So, they're going to have to make a big move in that regard. They asked LeBron already, the first question or the second question in the press conference, how long have you got left to play? Which is a wild question to ask one of the greatest of all time when you know the clock is ticking. I think he's got 2 years left.
Yeah, he needs to.
He'll play for his other son.
He looks like the better son as
He
well.
does look like a better son.
Did Bronny get on at the end today? Did they sub him out? I stopped watching after they went to the free throw line with about 20 to go.
I don't think Bronny touched the floor.
Would have loved. I thought Connect 4 was a bit stiff, actually. I couldn't believe he just couldn't get it. When no one's hitting threes, Connect 4 is sitting there, your first round pick. Surely he gets a little opportunity, doesn't he?
Stiff. It's, again, having guys who can actually knock down shots just makes a bit more space to make it easier for LeBron doing all of that. So, yeah, I mean, JJ, he tried a bunch of things. Clearly, it didn't work.
Yeah, it's a learning curve for JJ too. Obviously, first year as coach, he's done a fantastic job, but not playing someone in the second half of a playoff game, he's probably learned from that, which he did today. But obviously, it didn't help him. But when they're not knocking down the threes, bring on Connect 4.
Yeah, well, that's what he does. I've seen him live in action as well. I think he put 4 down when I was there. Okay, let's go to Pacers and Bucks. It was wild finish. So I'm just going to read out it's a what the fuck stat actually off Instagram, and it is what the fuck. So the Bucks were up 118 to 111 with 39 seconds left in OT. NBA playoff teams were previously 1,176 and 0 in the last 20 years when up by 7+ points with 40 seconds or less remaining. The Bucks went down 118-119 in that game. My man Gary Trent Jr. had a little bit of popcorn on his hands with that ball. And I've been there in the AFL circles. But yeah, I know how you feel, son. I know how you feel. I know what's going on in your DMs. I know exactly how you feel. And my heart goes out to you. But too much popcorn, just the ball through his legs. And all of a sudden, Haliburton takes it he takes it to the ring over Giannis, a little layup, the most underrated player, voted, and then they win the Pacers, and in comes Pops Haliburton to just shove it down Giannis's throat. Give me your thoughts on that, boys.
Firstly, if that's not an Instagram clip, can we get your spillage and his side by side and just give it to the people? Which one?
I've had enough of saying mine. Mine's been blowing up the last month. I've just had enough.
The Haliburton dad thing was wild. Like that is well and truly crossing. I didn't see the crowd angle. I just saw the one of Giannis going up to him after, and I thought that was enough. The crowd angle standing there waving the towel is insane.
Absolutely wild. Giannis, one of the most respected players of all time as well for what he's been able to do, where he's come from. To have Haliburton's dad just roll up onto the court with a big flag of his son's head just pointed at him is absurd. It took a strong man not to absolutely clock him back to.
And he's a level-headed guy, the Greek Freak. So for him to get that animated, obviously it wound him up. And also, too, I saw him with Mathurin at the end of the game. He was about to choke him out. He was squeezing his head like a...
Palming his head, isn't it?
Palmed his head, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
What would you do if that was you, though, your old man or someone, one of your parents rocked in and did that to one of your opponents?
It's embarrassing. It's not on. Like, I would be so embarrassed. I think Haliburton was, and he said that in his press conference. But, it's not ideal.
I thought Haliburton handled that pretty well.
Yeah, he did.
He handled that really well. And also the stuff about Dame after they had that back and forth. But, yeah, it was good to... Even though he's your dad, to call a spade and say that's not on.
And credit to Giannis. Giannis handles himself well when he's talking about those. And I love the cheeky little, he was like, you know what, I'm composed. I'm saying I didn't enjoy that. He goes, at the end, I've got a championship, they don't. Yeah, that's the way he went about it, and that's the true story, right?
It's a little backhand, a bit like what he did to me earlier. Just a little bit of something with a little bit of something on the end.
You can't really say anything to that. He's on a different class to all of them.
Giannis I like his press conference. You could see him building up, and he was getting frustrated. Then he's like, "It's all good. Well, he sorted it out at the end." So he just calms it down. But he's a great spokesperson for the league.
I was waiting for the headbutt.
Yeah, well, people were saying though that like Haliburton's dad should now be banned for the rest of the playoffs. Like we've seen other courtside interactions where that happens. I'm surprised that more didn't come of it. You can't get in the face of a superstar. I know the game
old man was involved, wasn't he?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Did they fine him?
I don't know. Yeah, he might. I don't know.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah, I might have been a warning.
What would you do if you're the commissioner? Are you going to go, here's a fine, or are you going to say you can't come to the next?
It's hard because what limit would you put on it? Like you can't be a part of the next series, which happens to be the Pacers' last series because there's no chance they're going to beat the Cavs. I don't know what it would be. I don't know. Can you fine him? I don't know if you can fine him.
I think a fine makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
$50K fine.
That's
50K.
like a slap on the wrist. That's nothing.
I know, but just send it to charity. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Probably a stern warning if he does it again. Probably banned.
Something.
But it's got to be more than a warning. You can't walk on the court, go up to the one of the best players in the league,
taunt him,
and almost invite him to hit you.
Yeah, it's exactly
like
what he was doing.
If that was what's his name from the Pistons.
Isaiah Stewart?
If that's him, that's the Batista bomb.
You're dead.
You know what I mean? That's the
dead.
Batista bomb. Oh, Pops Haliburton, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, Pops. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've got to be giving him a fine.
Something's got to come with it.
Yeah, it's a good opopportunity for them to set an example and, a fine would probably work.
100%. Well, let's stay on Giannis.
WWE guy got me.
You love your WWE. Righto, let's stay on Giannis.
Yep.
They've won one playoff game since 2022, the Bucks, right? The coaching staff's all over the joint. Doc Rivers loves a late game. loves
fade out.
Yeah, loves a fade out. But let's just stay on Giannis. Lillard's just done his Achilles, which just sucks, by the way. Heart goes out to him. But he's going to be out for the next 12 months. The Bucks are in all sorts. Is it time for Giannis to leave?
If it's not now, when? They're done. They are absolutely cooked. Their window of opportunity, which credit to them, they've got a championship in that window, right? So they've ticked that box, but They've got no draft capital. They've got no assets to move. They've got guys who are free agents. Like Brook Lopez can leave. Like Damian Lillard, he's favored to go to Orlando. Now, he's not going to play next season anyway, but he's favored to go there. So Giannis has to request a trade now. There's no time for loyalty. The Bucks are cooked. Get out.
Where would he go then? If he's going to leave, where's the perfect landing spot for Giannis?
It'd have to be a big franchise, big market team. I mean, who are the big market teams? You got the Knicks, Lakers, Boston. Obviously not going there.
Where do you want him to go? Where do you think is a good fit for him?
It's hard because like the Lakers can't give up anything to get. It'd be great to see him play with Luka and LeBron, but they haven't got enough
Cocky,
to give
you
up
have a
on.
thought on this?
I do. I'm a bit biased because my man Chris Paul plays for them, but I think the Spurs would be an interesting fit. Pair him next to Wemby. Might have to package Castle, Rookie of the Year. They got a few picks, some good assets. I think having a Greek freak there with Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, I think that's in a good organisation. Hopefully Pop's back coaching. That's a serious team.
It's a big market
Fox is
too.
a superstar. I love De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, he's a gun. I tell you what, Spurs are the one to watch right in this offseason because the KD's been linked to there. Imagine if Giannis requests a trade, he'll start getting linked to there. And all of a sudden they go from an out of the playoffs team to like a legitimate contender and everybody's watching them.
So I think Giannis should go to the Lakers.
Oh.
Why are you rolling your eyes like that?
Real original.
Well, yeah, LeBron's only got a couple left.
Yeah.
So then you got Luka and Giannis, and then you build around them. But why are you rolling your eyes
How
at
does
me
he
when I
get
say
there?
They don't
that?
have enough.
How does he get there?
He can't get there. That's the issue.
Why can't he get there?
They don't have any like draft package or
got nothing.
trade package or any of that to kind of put together. So unless you're saying that
Jackson Hayes, I reckon.
that's what I'm saying. You think the Milwaukee Bucks are
Vanderbilt
like
can jump in.
take Vanderbilt, take Bronny, and we'll take Giannis.
No futures. You can't get rid of futures, boys.
I would like to see like if LeBron have one more genuine crack at it. As much as I'm an MJ goat guy, I would like to see LeBron have one more genuine crack at it. Whether that is getting a Giannis, a KD, I don't know how they do either of those. It'd make them obviously very watchable, but I just don't see it happening. Are you a Lakers fan?
I am, but
that makes sense.
No, I am, but I'm a fan of a few teams. But I just think that's where he has to go if we're gonna, that's where you want him. I think LeBron needs some support. We still think LeBron is like it's up to him. He needs everyone else to be
100%.
making plays. He needs to be just sitting, late in quarters and just doing his thing when he's fresh. At the moment, they're using him like the star. They need one more star in that side, and I just thought he's the one. Lopez, I don't think is going to take him to the promised land.
You're right though. They do need another like alpha dog, don't they? Because LeBron at some point is going to slow down.
Why are they linking Jokic to the team? You see it all over socials. Why is he being leaked there then?
Well, they're saying that, again, the same situation where the Nuggets have reached their window, like their window's closed and they're going to have to make some sort of moves. And will the Joker want out? I don't think the Joker cares enough to want out.
He's too low key. He's worried about, we've covered it before. He's worried about the trots too much.
Yeah, well, I know where he's going. He's going to New York because Yonkers is up the road.
What's a worrying thought is if some reason OKC, who knows how they're going to do. They got a lot of picks, a lot of good young players. If they don't get it done and they think a move's near, bringing Giannis to OKC with that team is, that's
They can
silly.
definitely do it.
Yeah.
But that's why you've got the likes of the Bucks and the Suns, who like Giannis and KD, who need draft picks in a rebuild. You need draft picks and like for capital. Like they're going to be. That's exactly why OKC have that many picks stashed away. It's scary. I'm not against it, Tommy. I'd like to see him on a big team, and the Lakers are obviously a big team. I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, so it doesn't matter what.
It's a rare win for me because he's normally disagreeing with me. Just speaking about the Suns last week, most overrated players, we obviously all had a crack at it. I was a bit nervous with how mine would go, but you guys said I had a miss. The people kind of agreed with me. They thought it wasn't a bad call with Booker.
Who's yours?
I wasn't here for it, but I obviously watched the episode and I do think you missed.
That's three from four.
Mate, Book's a good player. If anything, I think he's underrated because multiple times he should have been an all-star and he got snubbed. And he had to wait for an emergency, like someone get injured and then slot in. So I think he's underrated. But my most overrated, I've had to think about this. Probably not so much now because he's no good now, but Kyle Lowry has to be the most overrated player to ever play NBA basketball. He's a 6-time All-Star, and I don't know how he's done it.
The 10-pin bowling ball.
Oh, my God. He runs around like a rugby player.
He doesn't run. He rolls around the court and just bashes blokes.
He's a championship winner as well. He's that far past in his career.
Exactly. The claw took him to that promised land. He didn't do it
You
himself.
got him in the most overrated players
That's
though.
the-
He's not even like he's just a role player.
No, I meant previously. It's just I just can never never
just
copy.
don't like him,
I've always
do you?
hated him. I've always hated him.
You've been thinking about that all week
I've been
since
stewing on
he's
it.
walking around Gold Coast doing his cash. He's going, I hate Kyle Lowry.
I hate Kyle Lowry.
Unbelievable. Well, we've got one more, but Ja, I'm fine in the West. I think he said that 3 years ago. He ain't fine in the West. I give you the tip. And the Grizzlies aren't fine as well. Where are they at, boys? The Grizz.
Don't know. He said that 3 years ago, and he's been knocked out every single time with the playoffs. We can't call them out on it, but I think they came out with Scottie Pippen Jr. as well, Ja, and they said if Ja, they were up 35 or something. I texted you, Tommy, straight away and said
tried to get
live
on.
bet OKC.
I tried to get on.
I knew they were going to come back as soon as Ja got hurt, and he did say that they would have won the series.
$11 they were, and they ended up coming back. I couldn't get on, by the way. I
chuck that in the group
tried to. I just so you know,
Mate, you were busy. You were getting your own cash in.
I called PointsBet live bet, and as I did it, work call come in, and you know when they just have the 10 seconds, 20 seconds delay, I thought, I've got to take the right call here. Bang, hung up on them, took the work call. And then I tried to zone out because it was a bit of a blowout. And then all of a sudden they've hit the lead and you text me and I was about to start crying.
I knew they were going to win. I just saw it and I don't know what's next for the Grizz. Obviously they got Ja, Desmond Bain. They've got like a young core, but they just seem to find their ceiling in every season. I just don't see them winning a championship unless they land a Giannis type.
Well, as we know, boys, the NBA playoffs have kicked off and there is no better time to check out the PointsBet app, the NBA bet tracker, the single markets or multis. Follow your NBA bets live in the PointsBet app. PointsBet, built different. And I tell you what's built different. Some of your little same gamers got this weekend, Pistols. So make sure you're going to go on the app at PointsBet and you'll just see a little tab, Oz American Aces Hub, or a few same game multis that Oz American Aces have put up, and there's a few specials, so make sure you get around them. We can win and lose together. Let's get into the games remaining and some teams that have made it to the conference semi-finals. I want to start with the Knicks at the Pistons to kick us off, and obviously I'll flow into the Nuggets at the Clippers. Game 6. Boys, let's start with the Knicks at the Pistons. Can the Pistons win this game and take it to the Game 7 in New York?
Bloody oath they can. Because Josh Hart got hurt and he got hurt right at the end. And then Jalen Brunson's ankle, so he'll be a little bit stiff. Obviously, you'll take all the pain meds and do all of that. But going back to Detroit, that place is going to be loud. And I said it last probably 2 weeks. I think Cade Cunningham might be coming close to my favourite player to watch in the league.
He does everything.
He is just so smooth. He's never flustered. He just randomly seems to get up and dunk on people. Got the clutch gene about it, assists everything. I absolutely love Cade Cunningham right now, and I think they get it. Do we like big calls? I reckon they're going to win the next two.
I love big calls. We're going to get to the Clippers in a second because the big boys, mate, he's getting a bit nervous since, I tell you what, big Aaron Gordon's just ruined you with that alley-oop by accident. Let's stay on this game. Let's stay on the Knicks and Pistons. Jeffrey?
Nah, he's missed on some calls, but he hit on this one. Pistol did say this is going to be a cracker series, and it has been so far. But yeah, like you said, a couple of injuries to the Knicks. Pistons can definitely win the next two, but then they've got my boys, so doesn't matter.
I'm going to talk about Boston later on. I reckon there's opportunity for
kryptonite.
I reckon if the Knicks can get through. I don't like the injuries you just mentioned, Cocky.
Yeah, it's probably my favourite series to watch in my first round. It's chippy. Cade's doing his thing. I think he's due to actually have a big scoring performance, but they're kind of ganging up on him a little bit, so he's having to pass the ball a little bit more. But again, for the Pistons, it's all about the role players and how much they can hit. And I think for the Knicks, I think everything comes down to Towns. I think you know what you're going to get from most of the other guys. Bridges is a bit hit and miss, same with Anunoby, but Brunson's going to show up. And I think if Towns has a big game, I think Knicks get it done. If not, it's going back to New York.
This series should be 3-2 the other way, though. That missed call from the referees.
Yes.
And I hate the last 2-minute report where it's like, yeah, we should have called that. What good does that do for
Doesn't help you.
for the Pistons?
Yeah.
But what do we? I'd just rather not do it, right?
But why is there no review on that? Because that's like it's a.
We can't review something that
Change.
wasn't called.
Yeah,
that's the issue. Then it adds that whole. But like, you just got to be better and call that in the moment. But the fact that things like that are reviewable, I think there's an answer where we can have. If you are more certain, like if you're just questioning it as a referee, just call it, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't need to be challenged. If it's in the last minute, just go and get the call right. That's the way I think it is for the future. Just call it regardless and then go into the replay and get it right. I think that's the safer way than not calling it and then figuring out what to go. Because they could, if they lose, if they get to Game 7, it should be over. If they win this next game, it should be over.
Yeah.
So that'd be a shit way to end.
Well done last week, boys. You said it's Towns or bust, and he come out and dominated the last two. And I think the games he dominates, they win. He wasn't that big last game. I'm just looking at his stats here, but he only had the 17, obviously the 11 boards, but the games he won was 26 plus. So he needs to score for the Knicks to win. But I want to go to the other side of things, and I reckon Detroit, they're winning, but the players that aren't performing, Hardaway, Jr. and Beasley from 3, they were 3 from 14 combined, and they still got the chocolates. If those boys can light up from 3, they're going to be very hard to beat the Pistons.
Welcome to the Pistons train. It's
I like them.
No, I love them too. I like the fact that they've kept through this like attitude, this swagger about them. This they call them the dog pound, but like they've bought into it and they haven't shied away from the moment. If they can go home and win, they're going to be feeling that good for Game 7. It's just huge. If they get a little nervous, the Knicks could steam.
They haven't looked nervous. They just won on the road. They look composed.
I think Schroeder's been really good for them. Yeah. I mean, the guy's getting, I was going to say another word, but he's getting shipped around everywhere, like from team to team.
No one's fumbled a bigger bag.
Yeah, I know he did screw that up with the Lakers a while ago. But he's been unbelievable. When Cade comes out, he even plays with Cade as well. Massive backup minutes. He's doing everything for that team. So I don't love relying on Beasley and Hardaway to get you through a series, but I think having that backup for Cade's been massive.
Yeah, Schroeder's stiff. Even in the Olympics, I remember watching him. He's just
balled out.
Yeah, he's just
World Cup.
Yeah, World Cup. He's a great player, and he's very composed as well. So yeah, they're going well. All right, so we're all going to tip the Pistons to win Game 6 and take it to 7. Is that what we're doing
I
here
think so.
on the American Aces NBA show? This is brilliant. Right, it's time to get to the Nuggets at the Clips. The Clippers, their last game was a bit disappointing, but your call, you thought Clippers should go all the way. I don't think you should jump off them just yet. What do they need to do in this game to obviously advance to Game 7? And what do they need to, how do they need to play if you're going to be confident? Because you don't look so confident.
Well, I'm not,
Pistons.
because that missed box out right from when Aaron Gordon, that's the closest finish I've ever seen. When they had to go down frame by frame to see. It should never have happened if you're a Clippers. Mind you, they were down 20, right? They've actually been down 20 in the last 2 games, which is a concern. Don't change too much because I don't think Russ is going to have the same performance in back-to-back games.
We keep saying that, but he's hitting his shots. He's just fucking shit up like he says.
Jamal Murray turns into Michael Jordan in the playoffs, though. Jamal Murray's a beast. The Joker just keeps throwing
Jamal Murray turns into Jordan when I take him unders. That's what he does. When I get on that points bet app and I take him unders, he turns into Jordan. And then when I decide to get on him, he can't hit a 3. I just can't work out Jamal Murray.
Can you get on his overs then for me? Because I need the Clippers to go through.
I might get on his unders and Clippers. That's not a bad shot.
So I need James Harden to be better. I need Norman Powell to be better. And the pick Zubac, you're 7 foot big fella, most improved player finalist. You can't have 0 rebounds at halftime. You just can't. I'm still a little confident of the Clippers. I've just obviously lost that a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Well, if the claw does his thing, I think it all comes down to the claw. It's been shown in the past when the claw has a huge game, they usually win. So he needs a monster.
Yeah, he did it all last game. 29 and 11. But yeah, you're right. He needs to be putting up 30 and he needs to start well. He needs to be aggressive. And like you said, they've been trailing by a large number. It's just hard to claw back when you're, and that's pun unintended, by the way, there, boys. But when Jokic and the boys are just firing.
That's good.
Yeah, Harden.
It was very good.
Harden needs to come along for the ride. I reckon Harden's a big one. He was too passive in the last game. And yeah, I think Joker's due for a big game as well. So it's going to be interesting to see.
I keep saying that, but he keeps passing it.
Yeah, well.
What do you have last game? I mean, they won by 16 and Joker's he's just had a lazy 13.
Yeah, he's going to have more than 13, I'd say this
He'll
time.
have 30, which is
Jamal
scary.
Jamal Murray, 8 from 14 from 3 and 43 points.
Wow.
Best game since the bubble. He's on fire.
Well, let's get to the there's been some unbelievable series, but like you said, the Pistons and the Knicks, I thought the Lakers and Timberwolves would be good. It was box office to watch, but it wasn't that interesting in the end in 5. But this other one, the Rockets and Warriors. The Rockets wiped the Warriors today as we record this podcast. And on Saturday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, I think it's around 11 a.m., we get the Rockets at the Warriors in Game 6. And you think if Jimmy Butler can just get that buttock loosened up, he scores, they win. That's what happens. When Jimmy scores, they win. I reckon that's what's going to happen, and they take it out in 6. What do you guys think? Start with you, Cocky.
Yeah, I thought he was a little too passive today to start up. He came back better than I expected in the game before. But yeah, he needs to score. Steph needs to be a lot better. 11 points, I think, is all he had today. So he's got to do a little bit more. But the Rockets are interesting. You kind of never know who's going to score. Jalen Green's got to be the most erratic player going around. The only consistent one's been Şengün the whole series. Van Vliet, he's been massive the last couple games. And Brooks has actually scored well. So Thompson, I think, set the tone defensively today. I think he had 5 steals at the half and really set the tone. So the Rockets they're interesting. You can't really trust any of them, but you never really know who's going to kind of go off. So, but yeah, I think Steph has a big game. I think Jimmy comes to the party, and hopefully Draymond does a little bit more, who was second in my overrated.
Thompson, just on him, like 5 steals, 3 blocks, and 25 points.
Yeah. 25's outrageous from
him. He's doing it all. Him and his brother, they're starting to, they'll be one to watch next year. They play that role where you just need, when you get to the playoffs and it's always like, the Rui Hachimuras, like the 4th or 5th option. If they can fire, it's a disaster. You don't know how to defend.
I think watching this game, I think the Warriors, I don't want to say they gave it away, but I think their veteran experience, having been there, done that. Once Houston got off to such a hot start, because they didn't, I don't want to say they didn't try, but they were like, you know what, let's not waste our energy here. We're a little older. We'll go home, we'll win it at home. And if not, we can always go all in on game 7. I think that was a very calculated, let's see how Houston start. If we're in it in first quarter, let's go for it. If Houston starts strong, a couple of guys get hot, let's not bother and let's just go home and get it done.
The Warriors D squad kind of brought it back for a little bit. I couldn't believe I saw Kevin Knox on the court. And there's a dude I'd never even heard of. He shot over 5. I don't know who that guy was. He's not getting game time again. But my thing was, if you're Kerr, would you have given him a chance? Like Steph can catch fire at any moment. They're down maybe 14 or 15 with 6 minutes to go. That's a lot of time for them.
It's hard because he took them all out so early in the third, and being older, they've sat for probably like 35 minutes. That's a danger to probably get hurt. But it's always a weird one, right? Where coaches are like, oh, geez, this bench squad just brought it back. Do I roll with them the rest of the game, or do I put my starters back in? As I said, I think they checked out early enough knowing we'll just go get the job done in one of the next 2 games.
It's funny with the Rockets, when the game is close, they actually don't have a closer. We talk about you don't know who's going to be the man. Yeah. And we saw that the other day with Sengun. He tried to be the man, and I don't know what he was thinking, trying to pull up for a shot at the free throw line. Yeah. That's their big issue. If the game is close, they don't have a closer.
Well, I thought it'd be Jalen Green, but they pulled him off the court. He hardly he hardly got court time.
He's wild.
But I thought he was their main man.
So did I.
He can look like mini T-Mac, and then he can look like
100%.
that 16th guy for the Warriors.
And that the only reason, and Draymond was in a bit of foul trouble. So Sengun, he got going in game 4.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll be able to have that kind of performance. If Draymond can stay out of foul trouble, he stays on the court, they're gonna have to find other ways to score.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be at Houston can win 3 straight. I think it was a very calculated effort from a veteran team that understands what it takes to get it done. And if they get it through, I'm backing the Warriors against the Wolves, but we'll talk about that next week.
Well, let's get to the series that we've already got locked in. It is time for the conference semifinals, and we have one that's locked in, and it's the Cavs hosting the Pacers to start it off. Oh, is that a broomstick over there, boys?
It's going to be a sweep. It will not be
a broomstick.
I'm not even a big Cavs guy. I just don't think the Pacers have enough to get it done.
Just quietly, Miami Heat shouldn't have been there.
No, that's terrible.
What a waste of time that was.
Yeah, that's a participation trophy, and we didn't need to see them down. They were down 70.
Tyler Hero really copped it, didn't he? He couldn't defend, and in the end, he couldn't score. He's a good player, but he would be he'd be in Cancun thinking about it all.
Well, no, they were never going to do anything, though. I don't think the Pacers have enough to get past the Cavs. No, I really don't.
Bam made some interesting comments. The guy with the grey hair, he kind of referenced, what's his name?
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley. The guy with the grey hair, he said, talking about the off-season and the moves and all that. You reckon Bam's out of there as well?
No, I think he'll be there because they're going to have to keep and build around. But it's, as I said, Damian Lillard's been linked there, but he's not going to play next year. So, are you wasting a year if you bring him in as like a contending year, or are you just going to say, you know what, when he comes back, Dame, he'll be mid-30s by then?
You want Dame off an Achilles? I think you go to plan B now.
You don't want to give up. You don't want to give up too much for that because there's no guarantee.
It hasn't worked at the Bucks.
No, exactly.
They got rid of Middleton. They got rid of everyone they had and just
they'll make some sort of moves, whether it's like a KD type or do whatever. They need something. But I'm not sold on. I just don't think Bam can be your alpha.
Jimmy Butler would be laughing at them right now.
Bloody oath he would.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened internally with them. But yeah, without Jimmy, Wiggins wasn't cutting it. Hero 4 points in an elimination game, not doing it. I think they probably keep 3 guys. I think they keep Hero, Davion Mitchell, and Adebayo, and I think the rest are up for.
Kelly Ware's all right. The rookie's all right. Big fella, he's good.
But back to the comments that Bam made. That's not a happy man.
Nah.
If you were happy in the organisation and with Pat Riley, you'd be like, Pat's going to do some moves. You're not going to go the guy with the grey hair.
Come on, though. He can't be naive enough to think they were going to actually give it a shake, though.
Oh, but internally something's going on.
That was the 4th worst loss in history, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Bam's got to be better as well. He wasn't exactly putting his imprints on that. He was getting beasted by Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, so he's got to do a little bit more himself.
We might be underestimating how good the Cavs are. Let's go to this series. So you're saying broomstick?
Yeah, I'll be different. I'll say broomstick.
Pacers are a good team. They move the ball better than anyone else in the association, but I only think they'll get one game.
Wow, still going broomstick. What do you think, Cock?
I'm going, I think Cavs in 5, best case scenario.
Did you say one game?
I said one game.
Sorry, I've just gone the broomstick again. So you're saying Pacers will win 1. Cock, you're saying Pacers will win 1.
I think 1 might get lucky for a second, but I don't think
I agree with you. I reckon it can push to 6 potentially. The Pacers are a unique side. There's never one player. It's like they all score 15 and they all play a role. And they go quite deep as well. McConnell off the bench and a few others that can.
Oh, it's admirable. Look, they'll lose admirably.
The role players don't win championships, do they?
Yeah.
He could be up there for most underrated. DJ McConnell,
He's a stud.
he's unbelievable.
He's a stud. I love
Watching
him.
what he does when he comes on, like
He's efficient.
Yeah, he's a weapon.
Well, boys, this has been an unbelievable show. And this, the NBA is really starting to heat up. You start walking down the street, you can hear a lot of people talking about it. I nearly walked into a poll today. I was watching the Lakers game, just couldn't believe how close it was getting when they hit the lead there. But I'll finish with 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Not 20 Shaqs like we did on social media. I want 100 normal men versus 1 gorilla. I want you to all go around and tell me who wins. Pistol?
Oh, you'll start with me. I've been thinking about this heavily. I don't see the tactics because I think the first 20 men are sacrificial. Like they're going to be chewed up. And the rest of the 80, if you're one of the other 80, you're going to be sitting there. You're going to be shitting yourself. You're going to be like, holy shit, holy shit. Cock's gone. The Cock's gone. I'm next. And I think the mentality of it, they're all going to be cooked mentally, and the gorilla's just going to go through the rest of the 80. I don't see it's good to watch your mates get cooked first. I don't see.
Imagine sitting back there. Like I'm actually picturing a mate just sitting back there. It's like, who's going to be the first one to go with the gorilla?
Imagine trying to work out, righto, boys, the skipper of the 100 men. Righto, who wants to go first?
You're signing your death certificate.
How do you decide who goes first, by the way? Like, if you're the skipper, Cocker, how do you decide who's going out there? You're sending 20 or you're going, boys, it's 100 in, just bang?
I'm sending the weakest links early. I'm sending them to kind of distract the gorilla. Then you got to come from behind, pause. And you got to king hit him. You got a low blow and you got to king hit him.
I think like a circle tactic. You'd have to circle him and then all go in at once.
Yeah, but what's a punch really going to do though?
Oh, you just get out.
Go for the rear naked.
You got to have a tactic. There's got to be 20 on right arm, 20 on left arm, 40 on the neck, and then you got to start fucking hacking the knees. And I reckon you can slowly just ground and pound and choke this big boy. Got to put him to sleep. Got to put the big fella to sleep. I reckon you can get a gorilla to sleep. They're only like 5'5" and average 190 kilos. I reckon
Can hold a ton though.
How many tons can 100 just average men hold? How many can they hold?
You're saying the men.
Maybe 10
You're
tons.
saying the men.
Yeah, well, this one's 100 just everyday men.
So us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no chance.
getting
I'm cool.
You need to have a mindset,
I'm
boys.
dead.
You got to take the left arm.
Even if I'm 99th, I'm cooked.
Oh, there you go. Well, let us know at home what you think. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. It's a great talking point, boys. Great show. I'm loving this. The Aces NBA show. If you're loving it at home, hit subscribe. Share this with a mate that loves the NBA. We're going to be covering it all the way to the finish. And it's just heating up. So I appreciate you all for popping in the studio, guys. Outstanding work. Actually, before we go, I haven't spoke about the Celtics there, great man. Do you just want to tell me, are you happy with how they started? Because I thought Orlando put it to them but didn't have any shooters. So if they get through and the Knicks are healthy and so are the Pistons, they might be up to against it, I reckon.
I am not worried at all. Like, we did not try. Let's be honest, Pistol. Like, we were in first gear. Some of the guys didn't even perform. Pritchard, quiet. White was pretty quiet. Brown didn't really fire a shot, and we still won 4-1. Tatum obviously just does his thing. He's gone.
Tatum's wrist is the worry. The injury.
His wrist looked pretty good the other day when he dropped 35. So,
Yeah.
but Tatum's gone to another level this year, and if this happened, if it for some miracle it was Warriors Boston in the finals, watch out for Tatum. He's going to average about 50,
Can't see
right in
Warriors.
front of Steve Kerr.
I don't know why, boys. I can't see Warriors.
Need Paul Zingis to get a few boards. Guy's 7'4" and he can't grab one. It's pissing me
He
off.
goes from 3-point line to 3-point
Send him
line.
a DM.
I will. now I know what people feel like when they go at me.
Oh, the Celtics are flying, and our man Jeffrey here, who will be just covering the Celtics all the way through, because he said they are a lock to make the finals. So I think that's what you said,
I think
wasn't
I
it?
said lock to win the whole thing.
There you go. That's a big call. But, hey, Tatum has taken his game to another level. It's quite scary. Thanks to everyone at home that tuned in. Aces NBA show. Make sure you subscribe to Oz American Aces. We'll see you same time next week right here on Oz American Aces. Cheers.
You need your bodyguard to be quick. And Gas is as quick as they come. Still, he's not as quick as a PointsBet app where I can place my same game multi before he's had a chance to even... We'll call that a draw.
It's never been quicker to piece together an NBA same-game multi with PointsBet.
Memories.
PointsBet. Built different. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.